Sunday, January 20th, 2019. Hello, everybody. We all know yesterday Donald Trump made a speech about the border wall and about Congress getting together and working bipartisanly and getting the job done. He wants his border wall and offered DACA with embellishments to make the deal sweeter, which they accuse him of taking it away and being a bully in the first place. So they're not considering DACA as any, special perk of the deal. It's something they should have already had, but which is not true. President Obama made law through executive order, which he is an executive. He is not a legislator. He is not allowed to change laws like that or make laws like that. So Donald Trump was correct to send it back to Congress for proper voting and proper approval and let it go down the legislative path and become law as it should. Now, if it was done that way, Donald Trump would have never been able just to sign an executive order and say, all right, it's gone now. That's the problem with the executive actions or the executive orders for this. So, the fact that he's offering it to you in legislative terms, so that way it cannot be repealed or taken away without an act of Congress, essentially. And last time he made this offer, the Democrats wanted 800,000 kids or young adults that were kids when they were brought here under DACA so they can be made legal. Donald Trump offered 1.8 million for money for the wall in the past, I believe, and they denied him. They said no. So, among other things, he offered the DACA recipients a chance to become citizens again through proper legal channels. And again, the Democrats said no. He's a bully. He's making concessions. See, this is how Congress is supposed to work. You're supposed to negotiate these terms. Trump wants $5.7 billion towards his wall, plus other enforcement, whatever. There's going to be drones, there's going to be alarms, there's going to be added border security, more officers on the border. There was more than just build the wall. There was all kinds of other options in there. But they said no. My bottom line is, as I told you last time, the Democrats have no interest in making any deals with Donald Trump. They got no interest in helping the American people secure their border. They have no interest in that. Their only interest is letting the illegals overrun the border, because the more illegals they can overrun the border, the more they can gray the areas of legality and illegality, and the more illegals, the harder it is to keep up with the manpower. Then come election time, when we're getting hit in mass with voter fraud through the Democrat Party, with all these illegals coming in and giving the names of dead people because, oh, you can't show an ID. We should have a national ID for voting. It drives me nuts that we don't. Nelson Mandela, 27 years. He sat in an African jail for equal rights. And what did he say when he got out? Every African, every black African, get an ID and vote. He didn't say show up at the polls and say, I'm not giving you my ID. He said, get an ID and vote. And that's how we should go forward. Get an ID and vote. You don't have an ID, you have no business voting. Let's put it this way. If you aren't even that advanced in life to have an identification, you got no business voting. You're telling me that 1 in 4 minorities doesn't have an identification. Now, first of all, without ID, how do you prove that? Second of all, I've seen interview after interview, poll after poll, man on the street, people asking minorities if they have ID, and they say, of course. And they're insulted when they're told, you know, the Democrat Party thinks you're too stupid, you don't have an ID, and you don't know how to vote properly. They are insulted. I would be insulted too. Well, anyway, my point was with this video is to cement down the fact that I've been saying the Democrat Party has no interest in doing right by this country and its citizens. They are a globalist, international, Marxist party, and it doesn't matter about our liberties one bit. The only thing that keeps us getting run over from them is the Second Amendment. And you see how they try to chew away like that. They're like a vicious dog with a bone when it comes to trying to get our Second Amendment rights. No way are they getting them. But 2020's coming up. Next year. Remember, we're already in 2019. We just got to put up with their bullshit for another year. And then we can vote them the fuck out. Primary out the establishment Republicans that are fucking us over also. You see how they're all out of power, how they're all talking tough now. You know, look at Lindsey Graham's now a whole new person. He's not hiding in the corner wetting himself. He's like, build that wall, do that right. Fuck you. When you were the majority, you weren't yelling that shit. Putting up 60 plus repeal Obamacare bills on Obama's desk. You knowing he's going to veto them. Day Trump got elected was, you never saw one of those repeals put on the president's desk ever again. What does that tell you? The lion sacks is shit, most of these Republicans. There are some good ones. The Freedom Caucus is awesome. But we need more. We need more like them. If we want our liberties and our freedom secure. Again, the Democrat Party doesn't give a shit about us. They don't care. Nancy Pelosi had a woman shot and killed in her own district by an illegal that was sent back 5 fucking times. Convicted of all kinds of crimes, finds a federal agent's gun somewhere and kills a woman with it, and she don't give a flying fuck. No, they want to investigate 2 deaths from sick children in ICE custody when their friggin' families refuse treatment. Oh, my child burned up with fever. No, the voodoo gods will fix them. Do not worry. No medicine for her. The gods will fix her. I don't know what the fuck they did over there. But they refused treatment, their child died, and that's all there is to it. Don't investigate that. Investigate the motherfuckers that are being killed in our country. Our own fucking citizens. That's what we should be investigating. So the Democrat Party's a bunch of traitorous motherfuckers. And it's a shame that anybody votes for them. I wouldn't give a shit about free stuff if this is what they were doing to my liberty. And if the people that vote for these fucking Democrats only knew the real history of the Democrat Party, being part of the KKK, coming up with the Jim Crow laws, segregation, even after Republicans desegregated the military, the Democrats resegregated it. Remember, they make a big deal that a Democrat had somebody running for Congress late in the 20th century the first Republican, the first black man to run as a Republican is 1868. The Republican Party was responsible for the birth of the NRA, the National Rifle Association, was formed as a civil rights organization to arm black men and women in the South that were being overrun by racist Democrats and the KKK so they could defend themselves. So don't let these lying fucking Democrats twist history on your ass to make themselves sound like some kind of friggin' warriors for justice. They're looking to step on our necks again, and it's not only minorities this time, they're looking to get all of us. So you better fucking get on the ball. Again, can't say it enough. The Democrat Party doesn't give a shit about the American people, does not give a shit about the American Constitution or the Bill of Rights. The 10 pillars of communism would be our fucking rule of law if we would let them. Now, God damn it. Get a fucking brain in your head if you don't already. I know lots of people that would see this, or whoever sees it. Most people know better. It's like preaching to the choir. But I hope people that are on the fence or don't know better see this and go learn for yourselves. You know, I spew things out from the top of my head. Sometimes I'm not as accurate as I'd like to be, but I'm not lying to anybody. And that's just the way it is. We're going to be fucked, and fucked hard, if the Democrats get control of the Senate and the White House along with the House of Representatives. We need to take the House of Representatives away from them. Keep the Senate away from them, and sure as hell keep the presidency away from them. It went from something to the executive was just supposed to manage this country. Today they're almost like a friggin' king or an emperor, which is not, our whole system of government, how it is today, is not how it was meant to be. First of all, our senators are not supposed to be directly elected. They are supposed to be appointed by the states. So if they try to fuck the states over, they get recalled and replaced, which was the right thing to do. House of Representatives was the people's house. Then you had the Senate, which was the state's house. And the presidency was the executive. There you go. The House of Representatives voted on things for the people. The state senators say, is it good for their states? They vote on it according to that. And then the executive decides if it's good for the country as a whole, and he signs the bill. Or doesn't sign the bill. Or vetoes the bill. That's not happening the way it's supposed to today. Everybody's a fan of somebody, and if they're not going with that fan's agenda, then we don't want no part of it. No negotiation. I mean, it'd be fine. I understand. If I was a little kid and I was dragged up here by my parents, and I don't know nothing else but this country, yes, it's nice that they should have a law that would make them a citizen of this country. Being a conservative libertarian type, it would be the right thing to do. Also, building a border wall to keep these massive invasions out of our country is also the right thing to do. Now stop fucking off and get the job done, Democrats. It's bad enough we had the establishment Republicans fuck us over. Now we gotta worry about you fucking us over. When does the fucking end? Oh well, I had enough. Think about it. Use that noggin. It's more than a hat rack. Have a good one, everybody.